Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. And what we're going to make is a pie crust, but we're going to make a chocolate pie crust. I like to make this one because I like to make chocolate pie filling and use this crust. So it is a good one. It really is. And it's relatively easy to make too. Now I make it in my my processor, but you can go ahead and do it by hand if you prefer, or you can use your stand-up mixer and make it in that too. But again, I really like using the processor and then with the blade. Okay, so let's get started. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, I no longer put the recipe below the video. So if you want to jot it down or whatever, hopefully I'll get the ingredients clearly enough to you that you'll be able to jot them down, okay? All right, let's get started. First up, you're going to need 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, okay? Again, 1 1/4, okay? And I'm just going to put that in there, as you saw, just kind of dump it in there. The next thing we're going to make a chocolate, we need 1/2 cup of unsweetened baking cocoa. This is not, of course, the cocoa that you add water and you know, it's out of a package, that type of thing. This is unsweetened, and you need 1/2 cup, okay? You're also going to be putting in 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Alrighty. And the next dry ingredient that you're going to be putting in is 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. Okay, so 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. And then I'm just going to turn this on and just kind of stir it up a little bit, mix it up, combine it. It only takes a couple seconds. Okay. All right, so that's mixed well for me. The next thing you're going to need is unsalted butter, and you need 10 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and I cut it up into small pieces. It has been sitting out on the counter, so it's not real soft. It's, you know, holding its shape well. And then on the pieces, I just try to arrange them separately, all in this dry ingredient, so that I just don't topple them all in one place, okay? Hoping that I'll have a little bit better distribution when I start to combine it, okay? So if you don't want to do that, you don't have to, but I'm just want you to know, you know, what I'm doing and why I'm doing it that way. So that's what I do. I just, you know, kind of place them in there, okay? And now I'm going to turn it on again, okay? And as I turn it on, of course, I'm going to need ice water. And you need a tablespoon, because we can go up to about 5 tablespoons if you need it. Yet I find by the time I hit 4, it's a nice dough ball and it isn't real sticky, because you want it to be able to hold relatively well so that you can transfer it to your pie plate, or if you're also making tarts instead of a pie crust, that kind of thing. So I'm going to just turn this on to start cutting that butter, unsalted butter, into that dry ingredient. And then I'm just always have my ice water handy here. That's 1. And I'm going to start off putting 2 in, and then just start watching it. And now we're going to go for 3, because it's still very crumbly. Okay, now that was 3, and it does feel quite nice. It's not real sticky, okay? So you can go up to 5. It's really, you know, up to you what you feel the right consistency was. I'm generally 4, so I believe that was 3 that I put in, okay? So I'm just going to take this off, and I like to have a piece of either parchment paper or plastic wrap to put my dough on there, and I'm going to just carefully try to take off the excess here off the blade. Okay, and I'm going to take out the rest of it with my spatula here. Okay, now I can usually get a 9 or a 10-inch pie crust out of this, okay? What I like to do is after I make the ball, and you can see it really shapes up nice. It's not real sticky. You don't want it sticky. And you want to try to use as little flour as you can in rolling it out. But what I do is, after I get this, I wrap it in my plastic, and I like to refrigerate it because I like it to be quite cold. And I usually refrigerate it anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. But due to the video, we're just going to go right ahead, okay? All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little flour on the top of my countertop here and push down this dough ball. And instead of using my big rolling pin, I'm just using my little small one here, okay? And then I like to transfer it back over to my plastic. You could use parchment, whoops, or I guess you probably could use a silicone mat too. Also, feel free that you don't have to break up the butter. You know, when the processor was combining everything, if you still see little chunks of butter, that's okay. It'll still bake up quite nice. As you can see, I hope you can see, this is a nice rich brown, okay? And then I usually try to measure it up just to see what I got. Okay, and if I can do this correctly, to plop that down, and then I just move it the way that I want it to. Okay, and then put whatever type of shape that you want to, you know, use your fingertips, or I know my mom would use a spoon. Everybody's different. Now, if you have pie weights, go ahead and use them, of course. Or beans, if you're using beans instead. And then I'm just quickly trying to just give this a little shape here into the pie crust dough, okay? And then I just use my fingers to try to press it down a little bit. But again, it's large enough for a 9 or a 10-inch, okay? And then if you're not using the weights, you know, or the beans, that kind of thing, and then remember, we always, if we use our weights, we put parchment paper down and then put the weights on top of that. Then I just go ahead with my fork and stab it this to bake it. Now, if you're putting in a more liquid filling that doesn't set up, you might not want to You know, like I said, use your fork. You want to use the dry weights, okay? But I actually use it to fill it with a pudding that's already made and set up. It's got a great consistency to it. Put it in here, and then I put it in the refrigerator. So I use it as a completely baked, cooked chocolate pie crust, okay? But again, this is great for making chocolate tarts too. It really is, all right? Okay, I'm just going to rinse my hands real quick because I want to show you that I baked one up into a smaller one to show you that you do have that access, that you have enough dough that you can make a 10-inch, okay? And I went ahead, and I'm going to turn it over here so you can kind of see it. It's a, you know, really nice rich brown. And again, where I put my little forks stuck in there. And that's, you know, how I like to make it. So this is a really quick and easy recipe. If you give this recipe a try, well, you know what? I'd really like to hear from you, or if you have a question or a comment. But remember, please, I solely put my videos on YouTube. So please watch my videos on YouTube. But if you write a question or have a comment or whatever, I'll be able to answer you, and I will do that in a timely fashion. So I want to thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. By the way, I do have other pie crust and tart crust videos also. I have a really easy one called an oil pastry pie crust that, oh, it's delicious. It's flaky. It's very, it bakes up very crisp, and it's so easy to make with oil. It's an oil pastry. So if you don't like this, or you're not looking for a chocolate pie crust recipe, please check out my channel for those other videos, okay? So I want to thank you again for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. If you're so inclined, you'd like to subscribe, well, I can't thank you enough, or ring the bell. Well, I want to thanks again for watching. Stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.